Diane, I'm listening to a podcast, Black Lodge Trivia Night. I've never heard so many game aspirations in my life. Welcome back to Black Lodge Trivia Night. This is Art again, all by my lonesome. I'm not going to get into what Patrick and Matt were doing. We actually, during our normal recording window, we actually all got on and then we just shot the shit and didn't end up playing anything. So that's why things like this are here. So once again, it's, what is this? Got to reach over for my book. It is Alone Against the Dark, Defying the Triumph of the Ice. When we last left off, we had made some real progress. We had gotten somebody killed. Rip Grunewald. Took over as Ernest Holt, who is his friend, also seems pretty rich. Swung by to visit one of Grunewald's former students, Lydia Lau, at the newspaper. Headed to Greece, decided I was going to skip. I think the intention is you just go through the same steps. I was like, I'm skipping the trip. I don't want to do all that again. It seems silly. Got to Greece and kind of uncovered the story. Apologies. I think I'm mostly over a cold. You can probably, I don't know, my nose is probably all red and wrecked from blowing my nose for the last 4 days straight. So I don't know how long I'm going to be able to go, but we'll try and get something done and keep the story going. Might be able to hear in the background sirens. You can probably see clearly this is not a normal recording time. It's daylight outside. And I'm hoping this is the final session with a Christmas tree in the background. So that means spooky season truly is coming to a close. But we'll have to see about that. Anyway, like I said, I'm under the weather. I'll try and mute all the coughs, and then at some point I'll forget to unmute and this whole recording will get screwed up. So here we go. Basics of the story, though, is you can see here from entry 539, is that the cult of Aten is basically trying to take the artifact that's being transported from Greece to Egypt. And they want to, through the expedition of Bremen that's going to Antarctica, use this device to sort of spin it up, change the axes of the Earth. So it's sort of like this, but now I think they want to make it more like that, so that Antarctica gets more direct sunlight, unfreezes that land, and basically brings about the end of the world. Something is under the ice, and they want to thaw the ice again by changing the tilt of the Earth and unleashing its evil. So that was sort of where we left off. Grunewald is dead. I don't know if Holt figured that out yet. But he's definitely worried because he lost contact. The original person that sent us all here in the first place was our friend Glier. He died. The official story is he died by suicide, but I think we know that he was killed in more nefarious ways. I think Grunewald definitely figured it out. Anyway, one of the things, did I mark it down here? I just want to make sure. One of the things, Ernest Holt collected his friend's, let's say, he knows Grunewald is gone. Grunewald's body, and he collected his friend's possessions, which included that special gold ring versus undead that Grunewald picked up and then was not able to use when he was attacked. So we're in Athens. Where did the calendar go? Did I close the calendar? It's around the 28th of September. And let's keep the story going. So, again, sorry, I'm really kind of still stuffed up. So 539 was the last entry that we were sort of reading. Let me bring that back up. One of the nice things about Fantasy Grounds, I don't know if I took advantage of it here, but you can choose a setting to restore Windows on start. So for something like what I'm doing here, it's great. I can leave the journal entry up. I can leave this table up. I can leave, and then they'll just, I don't have to go find them. In Foundry, at the start of every session, I have to say, okay, set this up, move this over here. of course, for recording. Otherwise, it's not that big a deal, but it is a nice feature to have. So anyway, let's see what it says at the end here. Here the letter ends. There is no second sheet. As you struggle to digest and evaluate the letter, the guard casually informs you that nothing else of Glier's is now at the prison. Go to any Athens. Hall of Justice. What time is it? It's 3 p.m., so it's getting to be toward the end of the day. I guess the Hall of Justice would be open. I think I have somebody to help me, a translator, provided by one of the locations. I think the person told me that he told Grunewald to head to the cafe. And yeah, so the Piosotos Cafe. So as you enter the cafe, thick acrid smoke, tobacco, chokes you. Again, he would be told to go to the Englishman. Man is Richard Hawks. He greets you warmly in Ozu and some talk. I've had Ozu. Ozu, if my memory is correct, is really sweet. I had trouble drinking it, but it's sort of like, I don't want to say it's the vodka of Greece because it has taste-wise nothing in common, but it's sort of like that official drink of Greece that they make there. Let's see. Look, I know you're investigating Glier's death, which, okay, so now this is sort of, again, the thing where there's a rigidity to the structure of this adventure that you sort of have to play around with. So maybe he would actually say, like, oh, you're the second, second person to come talking to me about Glier's death. And I think he would probably try and do the same thing. He'd try and bait Mr. Holt into coming back to the apartment. Now, Holt, if you remember, I think on his inventory, he's coming up. He's showing up strapped, right? He's a lot more, he's a former soldier, retired from the Navy. He was Devin Wilson's commander, but I think he's a lot more, and he also, if you remember, has money, 35,000 cash. So the way I'm picturing Holt is that he's a little more world weary, if that makes sense. And so he's not gonna be like, Jiminy, you've got information in your apartment. I should come this evening. For two reasons. One, I think it makes sense, and two, I'm not doing the exact same thing. So, so he definitely refuses that. And he says, like, okay, what about meeting at the Parthenon? And he's like, okay, let's do that. He'll do the Parthenon meeting. And it's in public. He's not thrilled that it's sort of in the evening, but let's say that's what he agrees to. Is there any other place you'd want to go? We went to the expensive hotel. Okay, so we're going to wait to go to the Parthenon at sunset. We're going to advance an hour. We're talking to that guy, then we're going to advance another hour. Yeah, sorry, it's getting better, the cold, but you can probably still hear a little bit in my nose. I'm still coughing every once in a while. Honestly, I feel mostly normal. I just probably look and sound like garbage. So let's say he then goes to the National Museum of Archaeology. Did we go there already? To look around the museum, go to 176. If it's before December, you can try and see... Okay, so we're going to try and see the curator of the museum. It is before December. After November. Okay. You see fabulous treasures of ancient Greece. You also find the stand where the Carpathos device replaced at the moment by a drawing and photograph is normally kept. Go to 168 for more information on the device and then return here. So I'd be curious about this device because I just got this letter from Glier talking about how it's going to bring about the end of the world. So I'm curious. Of course, the device itself is not here, but it's a drawing and a photograph. The archaeological team at the National Museum in Athens have reported on the Carpathos device, noting the inexplicable markings on its surface and the complex network of gears and linkages. The team has established that the device is at least 2,000 years old, although some suggest it might hold a more ancient date. The report implies an ancient level of technical achievement previously undreamt by scholars. Cryptic Greek inscriptions were found on the outside edges of some gears, while some interior sections were marked with unusual Egyptian hieroglyphics. The team makes no guess about the function of the device. If in Arkham, no. If in Athens, yes. We're going to go to 176. So we're back to the main entry for the museum. Okay. The notes speculate that the Carpathos device is some kind of astronomical clock designed to aid priests. Other scholars feel it may have been designed to actually create something material. Still others see it as merely an elaborate amusement for some wealthy noble or merchant. The origin of the device is not uncertain, nor has the substance of which it is made been determined. Make a luck roll. Do I have luck? 55, it's not the worst at the moment. Let's clear the dice tray just so we can watch those beautiful dice bounce around. Nice. Extreme success. Let's see. Okay, make a luck roll is successful. Go to 166. It was successful, so let's see what's up. You see, this is Stratos, the museum director, who is showing the museum to an English dignitary. You rush up to him, asking your questions quickly. He speaks briefly, but tries to dismiss you, saying he does not know why Glier stole the antiquity. Make a psychology roll. That I don't know if I really poured points into, so let's take a look. Psychology, oh, is a 50. It's not the worst. And I get it. Nice. Go to entry 17. He's lying. Stone cold liar. Now, above the table, I probably would have guessed that, but it's nice to know that my character in-game is aware. Let's see. He's lying. Return to your previous entry. Okay. Make a psychology roll, go to 17. So I did that. So it's interesting. If you're interrogating, I wonder how you would have gotten to his office. Go back to 166. Okay. He also says that it's normal for loans, such as that of the Carpathos device, to be made. Make a psychology roll. If successful, go to 1 and then return here. What was my first psychology roll? Spend 2 of your 55 to make an extreme success. Here's what I'm going to do. I'm going to spend that 2. And again, this isn't what they're actually telling me to... Nope. 18. I would have rolled as... If I'd rolled psychology at a 50, I would have... Okay, whatever. What I was about to do was I was about to potentially spend the luck and then just say, because I had an extreme level of success, just give it to myself. Because again, I feel like one of the things that... And this is what we talked about when we were breaking up with Cthulhu. The game throws a lot of sort of potential narrative roadblocks in your way that I think don't necessarily do the game any favors. I don't know if that makes sense. Like this constant like, hey, roll for this. Oh, you didn't get it. Oh, okay. Roll for this. Like it should be a lot more if I know he's lying, if I successfully check in the beginning, that sort of should set the tone for, you know what I mean? I don't know if that makes sense, but let's go to entry 1. He's lying. Yeah, see, again, like I already spot him lying, so like I feel like I would know his tell. I don't need to roll again, if you know what I'm trying to say, right? And that's what I mean, where like this system sort of tends to get in its own way of telling the story, which, from my experience, the stories are often quite fun. They're quite good to go through, but the system, a little too clunky, or a little too old school. You know, I'd be really curious, would an 8th edition Call of Cthulhu, where they sort of started to incorporate modern takes on game design, what would that do? Okay, sorry, just had to go blow my nose. Figured nobody really wanted to watch that on camera, and if you do, you sickos, I'm going to save that for the Patreon. So, yeah, like I said, I'm sorry, just a mess of a bit of sick still. So anyway, I would love to see Call of Cthulhu, and you could argue that, oh no, it has been modernized. It's the gumshoe equivalent. It's whatever, but it's Vaesen to some degree. And I really do feel like, and Matt and I have talked about this, Vaesen comes the closest, but there's certain things that it lacks, namely sanity, that I'd like to see, and maybe someday they'll get it in there. What do I know? Okay, so we figured out that he's lying again, which again I would have done with just one roll and made it so this conversation is you sort of catch his tells. Let's see. Return to your previous entry. Okay. Finally, he states that the Carpathos device is a type of clock. Make another psychology roll. I'm going to say if he's lying, yeah, I'm not doing this again. I've caught him lying twice. I get how to know when he's lying. Return to your previous entry. If at the motor ship, if looking around the museum, Pisistratos, perturbed and somewhat embarrassed, then moves on. Go to 118. I'm curious how you get to his office. You get there from entry 22. Oh, so we don't have Christos. That's who is. Okay. So that's the difference. There's a character that we have not encountered that opens up this sort of side path. We're sort of doing this more on our own. I don't know who Christos is. Okay. Make a luck roll. So once you go back here, you go back to 118. I feel like we sort of, okay, so we know that Stratos now is sort of letting on to more than he says. Let's say that add an hour. Six o'clock-ish. Takes an hour to get to the ruins. Maybe the Parthenon. 7 o'clock, September. That could be sunsetish. So let's do that. So I'm going to play this a little different. The majestic temple columns glow golden yellow in the setting sun, deepening to the blue as you clamber across the rubble. The beauty of the scene somehow oppresses you, and gradually you sink into your own thoughts. As you ponder the suicide of Gliere and the death of our friend Grunewald, a scream abruptly brings you to the present. The cry seems to come from nowhere. Suddenly you're aware of the isolation and vulnerability in your deepening gloom. If you try and hide, if you decide to sneak away, if you decide to stroll away casually, go to 19. I'm going to try and sneak away. At first move silently, you first move silently, cunningly evading ghastly, lifeless figures which have okay, so this needs a climb roll to get over a fence. You know, they even tell you, like, hey, climb might be important. Now, I don't have a ton of climb. If I spend 2 luck, I get it. I'm going to do that. So I make the climb roll. But here's what I don't know what to do. I have this special gold ring versus undead. I don't necessarily know that's what it does. But they don't give you any options here for if you have this ring. Entry 33. So we're sort of getting the same thing, right? Like, he gives you the ring. So, you know, we've already sort of done this. So maybe what I'll do is say, like, as I was making my escape, I could tell the ring started to glow or do something. And it made me realize that maybe there was some connection between this ring and these ghastly figures that were invading the Parthenon. Okay. So anyway, when you look again, your new friend is gone. The road is empty. So we wouldn't have actually had this encounter. It already happened. So now I've got this ring that I would realize something weird is going on. This ring somehow has a power for it. And in the morning, so now it'll be the morning, we go back to our hotel. Let's see. We arrived in Greece here, so we spent the first night. Let's just see what happens. The expensive hotel. This is the best class of hotel. It has 24-hour room service. On your second night here, roll a d10. That's what I need to do because this is our second night here. And we roll a 5. Okay. So yeah, let's change the date to the 29th. It is now, say, 8 a.m. We'll have breakfast, makes it 9 a.m. And so now what we got to do is we got to start figuring things out. Looking at the locations here, I don't know if there's a ton left for us to do. What's this? Mothership. Okay. Here's what we can do. We need to get to... We're going to Greece. Let me just see what the schedule is for Greece. Can I fly? Make sure I go flights to Cairo. It leaves 8 a.m. daily. Okay. I'm a Navy man, but I don't think I'd be a Navy pilot, so I don't know if I want to rent my own plane. So let's say, instead of all this 8 a.m. stuff, let me just assume that we figure out how to buy the ticket and we go to Cairo. We charter a plane and see what happens. So let's close all these out for now. I don't think we need... Well, it's nice to leave the picture up just so... Let's see. Can you close this toolbar? It's not important, but yeah, okay. So we're going to charter this plane. As you enter the passenger compartment, a steward in a blue uniform offers you a piece of chewing gum and some cotton. He gestures that the cotton is for your ears. You take one of the wicker seats in the plane. As you look out toward the terminal building, you see 2 brutal-looking men intently watching the plane. As your face comes into their view, you see them point and smile. If you think you shouldn't be on this flight, return to the airport entry at 181. Wait a minute. What I thought it was... Oh, this is just a regular flight to Cairo. Okay. You know what? Let me see if I can figure this out here. So obviously 2 people are dead. I had these ghastly figures chasing me at the Parthenon. Would that be enough? Yeah, you know what? I think that would be enough to get me to free. So I stand up and in all my, you know, rich, posh, assumptive behavior, entitled, I just stand up and say, I need to get off this plane right away. Very important. Cannot be on this plane. And I make a big stink, and they're like, sir, we're about to take off. And I'm like, no, I need to be, blah, blah. And so eventually, let's just say I make enough of a stink. They're like, just get him off the plane. And they sort of bring my bag and sort of put it at my feet and leave me there on the tarmac. Yeah, let's... Okay, so at the tiny airport, 3 aircraft sit beside the airstrip. Mail plane. Maybe that makes me realize I need to be a little more discreet. So yeah, let me take a look at that. And as you enter the passenger compartment, oh nope, wrong one. So I'm gonna go talk to the pilot at the bar. Jacques smiles gallantly. I am trying to interest wealthy Greeks in the romance of the air, but my little service has not been well received. Yet perhaps I may take you somewhere? If yes, go to 92. Yeah, let's see if we can charter this plane. He'll take you to Cairo or Bremen with no questions asked. In order to have daylight to complete the trip, he must take off before noon. Perfect. Probably lets him get over his hangover a little bit. If you say yes, read on. Otherwise, return to the airport. Yeah, let's say yes. We're going to Cairo. We're not ready to go to Bremen yet. Let's see. Let's get rid of... Okay. Around the airport, you detect an odor resembling manure. You also see many British troops. A few planes are scattered about the tarmac. Regular flights are available on a Ford tri-motor and on a smaller but steadier Northrop Alpha. If you just landed, you can find a taxi at 103. All right. Made it to Cairo. We're going to take a taxi. Let's see. Going to get the Egypt locations table going. Let's say it left at noon. It's probably a couple hours. Let's make it 3 p.m. I don't know if that's actually accurate for how long it would take, but we'll just wing it. One of the few main streets of Cairo, cabs of every variety, from sleek new Packards to old Fords running on makeshift parts, can be found. You can hire a driver to stay with you for the day, or you can walk. Each trip to a location costs an extra hour. Go to any Cairo location. I'm going to hire a driver. Because again, this guy's got money. So first things first, we know this device went to the museum. I think the first thing I need to do is I need to check into a hotel. Space is a bit tight, but you must get a room. Roll a d10 to see how you fare. Okay. I roll a 10. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, or for a 10, go to 154. I don't think I got the expensive hotel. Many private homes, from huts to mansions, have rooms to let visiting tourists. They are very safe. Each night that you spend in a private home, attempt 1 luck roll. If you succeed, go to 198. Okay, cool. So we've got sort of like the Airbnb of the day. Let's keep going. So we've done that. Let's take the driver now. So when it says it takes an extra hour, I assume that'd be like 2 hours for every one. Is that because usually it takes an hour to get around anyway? So let's say that takes an hour to do that. And now we're going to go to at some point we need to eat. I don't know if this guy would just grab a dog off the vendor on the corner, but I'm not seeing any other restaurants on the Cairo location list. Maybe the Faridza Marketplace might have something, but let me just double check. Let's try there. Fortune telling outcourt. Okay, cafe. The market thrives from early morning to after sunset. There are hundreds of shops and stalls. Many signs are in English, and many British troops idly walk around. You can choose from among the following: pottery, artifacts, fortune telling, outdoor cat. We're going to start with the cafe. Go to 340. Cafe is a good place to hear rumors. You'll hear snatches of conversation for every hour you spend here. What you hear depends on how well you understand what was said. I don't know if this guy has any ability to speak the language. He knows German, a little bit English. His inventory has a Greek phrase book, but I don't think it has anything for Egypt. So he might try and rectify that, but first he's going to eat. So let's roll another d10. 4. Let's see. Modify the result as noted. Increase the result by +1 for each 10 percentiles or fraction thereof of your language Arabic. Increase the result by 2 if a native of Egypt... Oh. We do have our driver. So that'd be a 6. You overhear the following. The cult of Aten are deluded fools. They serve semi-human monsters. Bodies have been seen carried to the eastern side of the pyramid at Tel El Amarna. Amat Kas serve the cults, but they may dispose of him. Return to the cafe. Okay. Getting a little bit going on there. So there is cult activity here in Cairo. Sort of focused a little bit around the pyramids. So let's say, we finish our meal. What time is it? Let's make that another hour. And let's... for a dagger throw game, can I throw? I can. Yeah, so let's say as we're leaving, this dagger throwing thing catches my eye. And, I'm a man of means, and I like to put a little money down on my skill. So let's see. The daggers are finely balanced. You find a, I don't know how to say that, piastra in your pocket. How do you say that? It's one of those words that I have heard. Piaster? Piaster? I think that's how you say it. Let me see.
Piaster.
Piaster. Thank you, dictionary.
Piaster.
There we go. Piaster. You find a piaster in your pocket. If you succeed with a throw roll, you win back 10 piasters. Each win takes 4 minutes. You may continue to play until you earn 500 piasters, taking 3 hours. A crowd gathers and applauds and whoops as you stagger away into the way you're winning. Let me see if I can do it. I definitely can. That's a hard success. Skill is a 60. I rolled a 23. Yeah, so maybe I sort of get swept up in the hubbub. Of the whole thing. So now here's the question I have. Like, if you can succeed with a throw roll, you win back 10. So basically they're saying you can win a total of 50. Would you do this? Would you roll 50 times? That seems crazy. So maybe I win like 100 and then walk away. I don't think I would just stand there for 3 hours and be like, ugh. lives are at stake. Okay, so let's add an hour for that. It's getting to be night. And then maybe as I'm now like, oh yeah, maybe all the whooping and hollering for my success at the games. The fortune teller says, Sir, you had like good luck this evening. Let's spare a moment for me to, tell your fortune and see if that will continue. And I'm like, yeah, you know what? Why not? Maybe the driver started looking at me like, I don't know about this, but you enter through a curtain. An old woman looks up, her eyes wild. You offer a coin you find in your pocket. Oh, I don't have to find it. I just made 100 of them. And she tells you your future. Go to entry 389. I see darkness. Darkness. Oh. A foul creature lurks holding a basket. A door opens. Something shiny glows. I see your face trembling in the darkness, and below I see... She stops abruptly. I can see no more. She falls silent. You want to press her for more visions. If so, go to 378. Yeah, let's push. I'm like, hey, you can't just... And then I see that there's a monster in your... You know what? I'm just going to stop. I think I'd be like, no, I think you need to finish that sentence. Let's see, make a persuade roll. I don't know if I've got that going on. A little bit. So let's see how we do. Not even close. And... Oh, no. I was going to say, what would I need to... But it's a fumble. I can't just go and change that with luck. It's so bad. So maybe I flat out just say the exact wrong thing, and she's like, not only was she hesitant to tell me, but now I've like offended her in some way. Maybe I'm like, look, how bad can it be? It's not like this is actually real, something like that. And she's like, excuse me? Oh, you can go burn in hell and get eaten by the monster I'm not going to tell you about. So, okay. All right, so we get a little bit of information there, but not as much as I would hope. So now that we're done with that, I guess that would add another hour. It's starting to get late. Although it doesn't say when things close. So maybe I would stop by the suppliers. Maybe something catches my eye as a former Navy man. May purchase equipment and weapons here. Okay. I don't think I need to... I don't think I need to carry too much. I've already got weapons, so let's not worry about that. Okay, so let's say it's the end of the day, and I go back to... Many private home... We go back to the house. Let's see. They're very safe. For each night you spend in a private home, attempt 1 luck roll. So this is going to be our first night. Let's attempt that first luck roll. Again, you cannot use luck to fix luck. Okay, I failed this one, but there's nothing listed for what you do when you fail. So I'm just going to get up. Let's mark it as a new day. It's now the 30th. Let's make it 8 a.m. Let's say we have breakfast. It's 9 a.m. And let's head to... Don't need this. Let's see where we can go. We don't have any reason to go to the police. Grunewald never made it here, so it's not like there's a reason why I'd be like, we need to get the fuzz on this. But let's start by going to the museum. This is the whole reason why we're here. It is before October 30th, so we're going to go to entry 206. It's 9 a.m. Says the museum is open from 9 a.m. to noon and from 3 to 6. The exhibits in this great museum might interest you. Oh, 3 exhibits, sorry. Treasures of the Pyramids, Tomb of the Ancients for the Carpathos device. Here's what we're going to do. I'm going to start by going to the Carpathos device. And then I want to talk to the curator. I'm at Cab because I heard his name come up at the cafe. So if I need to pass the time, I'll also look at the other stuff. So let's start with, like, I'm here for a reason. Go to 209. The Carpathos device is there. See image below. Let me see if I can find that image. Here we go. Blow it up just a little bit so you get a good look. The device's appearance is remarkably modern. Its sheen reminds you of aluminum, but the real metal is obviously of great strength. Its glass enclosure seems to be electrically guarded. They're taking no chances of a repeat theft. Need a refresher on the Carpathos device? Go to 168. Is that, I might need a refresher. The team at the National Museum in Athens reported that on the Carpathos device, noting the inexplicable markings on its surface and the complex networks of gears and linkages. The team has established that the device is at least 2,000 years old, although some suggest it might hold a more ancient date. Did I read this? The report implies an ancient level of technical achievement previously undreamt of by scholars. Cryptic Greek inscriptions were found on the outside edges of some gears, while some interior sections were marked with unusual Egyptian hieroglyphics. Yeah, I don't know if I got that, so maybe I would get that information here. Honestly, I can't remember. You can return to 206, or do you have other ideas about the Carpathos device? Well, I mean, I've heard that this thing is meant to bring about the end of the world, so I might have some idea. Having come so far, having seen death and danger, you know that the fate of the world could very well depend on you. How could you fail but to try to steal the Carpathos device and stop it getting into the wrong hands? Okay. So it's saying, hey, do you want to steal it? I don't know if Ernest Holt has that smash and grab vibe to him. I think he would know that he's not stealthy. He prefers sort of like a man-to-man, face-to-face, none of the stabbing in the back approach. So I don't think he would go skulking in the corner shadows at 9 a.m. So I think he's going to see if he's got a better way to do it. See, return to 206. Okay. Let's look at the other stuff. Like, again, we're trying to, like, maybe I go to Ahmet K's office and I'm like, hey, I'd really like to speak to the curator. Maybe I drop some names. Lier, maybe I drop Grunewald, maybe I drop Pisistratos or whatever in the Athens Museum, saying I just talked to him. I just came from there the other day. And they're like, he's busy for a little while, but maybe come back. So during that time, what I'll do is I will go and check out the other displays, the exhibits. So we'll start with the pyramids, because of course that's a classic thing to check out when you're in Egypt. You see household paraphernalia, combs and tools, all of gold and silver. An empty sarcophagus contains a placard explaining that when the Lord died, his slaves were killed in order that they might continue to serve him in the afterlife. Want to see Akhenaten's amulet? Yeah. Can I decipher? I don't think I have hieroglyphics. I think that might have been Grunewald. Let me just double check. I think he had hieroglyphics, but not Holt. Yeah, he did. Oh well. So I can't decipher the hieroglyphics. And I doubt my driver would be like, oh, I happen to have a master's degree in Egyptology. But let's check out this amulet. You notice a picture bearing the label Akhenaten's amulet. Here's the picture. With a successful int or art craft, any art, you copy the sketch. Okay, let's see. Do I have intelligence? I think I'm pretty smart. Yeah, do I have any art? I doubt it. No. So let's do an intelligence check. Rolling against an 80, I get a 54, so I get a sketch of this. Good to know. What I probably should do is be adding these pictures. So that way, let me just make sure it works. Yep. Again, said it before, the hot bar in Fantasy Grounds may be one of the best I've encountered and worked with. Really lets you do just about anything can go there, and I think that's great. Okay. Okay, so we copied it. Go to 206 if before October 30th. Okay, so do I have 206 open? I do. Okay. Let's go to the next one, Tomb of the Ancients. A cutaway model of the Pyramid of Akhenaten is on display. Make an intelligence roll. Okay, let's give that another shot. Again, I've got an 80, and I rolled a 69. The ultimate success for pervs like me. Okay. Go to entry 252. The exposed interior of the pyramid is much too small. There must be something else in there. Okay. Okay, yeah, so architecturally I'm looking at it and I'm like, yeah, there's the spaces, there should be another room or something's jumping out at me like that. Okay. Make a successful luck roll. Okay. 53, I roll a 38, I get it. Nice. The map is a flat the map is a flattened view of the pyramid at Tel El Amarna, return to 236. Map. I'm going to drag this here too. So that amulet is sort of lining up now with this map. Go back to 236. Okay, we're there. Make a successful Cthulhu Mythos roll. And here's where it all goes downhill. I don't have that at all. Occult. Who did have... Again, was that... Somebody had it. Was it Grunewald? Science. I'm just even wondering, is it... Where that's... Cthulhu Mythos. 0. Okay. Perfect. You're supposed to check boxes when you successfully use... Have I used any of these skills? I used psychology. I used... Throw. Persuade, I don't think I did. But that's one of the things. Not that character progression is terribly important in this particular adventure, but that's the basics of how the system... When you use a skill successfully, you sort of check it off, and those are the ones you can sort of attempt to advance later on, in between sessions, however you want to do it. Okay. So we made the successful. We're not going to make that. Attempt each roll only once. You may move on. Go to 206 if it's before. Okay, so it is 206. Let's go back to 206. We've checked out all 3 things. So let's say, you know, we've passed the time and now we're going to get our chance to interview the museum's curator. So we've waited for our appointment and it's finally going to happen. So let's close some of these windows. Let's go to entry 302. You know what? And let's pass some time. So let's say we got there at 9 and we spent time looking around the museum. It's around 11. From 9 a.m. to 5 p.m., Ahmet K is in and will gladly see foreign visitors. So honored to have you call, he murmurs. What do you wish to do? Examine the Carpathos device, ask that the device be returned to Athens, ask about Gliere, or something else. Pick one, write it down, and then go to 330. Okay, so here's the thing I'm trying to figure out. We've got sort of two competing lines of info that we're curious about. One involves the death of a person, Glier, and at this point, Grunewald. So I've lost a friend. My friend had lost a coworker, friend. I don't know how close they were, but so there's two deaths. But there's also a device that is supposed to bring about the end of the world. Now, you can look at Holt, right? He doesn't seem like he would abide any gruff. You know, if you tell him like there's a device that's going to spin so fast that it's going to alter the Earth's axis and thaw out Antarctica, he might be like, okay. I don't think he'd be like, holy shit, I'm in. So I think he would be more about the concrete things that he knows are right in front of him, which is the death of two people, one of whom is a friend. So I'm going to choose, like, I don't know if I would have any stakes in the device being returned to Athens. You know, it's like, it's the device is the device, whether it's here, whether it's in Athens, it doesn't matter. So let's ask about Glier as sort of a stand-in for Glier and Grunewald. Okay. That's not the... Pick one, write it down, and go to 330. So when I go to 330, it says, examine it, return it, impossible, he laughs. And I have never heard of this Glier person. He escorts you out. But if you pick something else at 302, or if you can make a successful fast talk roll, go to 350. Let me just double check. I asked about Glier. I didn't do something else. So let's try a fast talk roll. I have a 5. I'll be honest with you. I don't think I would try and fast talk him. Like, again, look at this guy. Is he gonna, like, he doesn't strike me as a type. I think what he would do is he would intimidate. I think he would try and talk down to this person in a way that backed him into a corner. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to make it an intimidate roll, but I'm going to make it hard. So let's see if this works. 72. I would need to spend 40 of my 53 luck. That is a hell of a investment. At the same time, this is my lead. Like, this is what I, you know, so maybe I would burn it. Let's burn it. Who cares? I could be signing his death warrant, but, so our luck goes from a 53 down to 13. And, go to 350. Let's say for whatever it's worth, we intimidate him into talking further. So we need to go to 350, which is not listed on the card. So I'm just going to pull it up from the story. Go back to 350. Here we go. Something about him teases your suspicions. What is it? You can only try one of the following rolls once. Psychology. I might skip this. I might just have it be like I succeeded, but psychology is a 50. Listen is a 50. Spot hidden is a 70. Let's go with spot hidden. Although I'm going to give myself an automatic success. It's a 70. I rolled a 34. I would have succeeded anyway. But the reason why I was going to do that is because I don't care for the idea that make a skill check so that you can make a skill check. Like, like, stop doing that. Like, and it might be, again, the structure of this sort of choose your own adventure narrative, but like, I made the skill check. You don't need to keep making me roll more dice to get in the way of discovering the clues, right? Like, again, I'm not necessarily looking for the gumshoe by the clue management, but I'm not looking for a system where I fast talk just so I can spot hidden. You know, I did what I needed to do. So let's see what happens. 336. Scattered among the books on Kez shelves are some ominously ancient tomes bound in suspect hides. He also seems to be doing his best to stand in front of the internal door to his office. If you want to ask him what's behind the door... Oh, I'm definitely going to ask him what's behind the door. And again, because I intimidated him, he's going to goddamn tell me. You ask what's behind the door, and Kev replies, nothing. Somehow you don't believe him. No, of course I fucking... Okay. Yeah, you don't... to pull out your gun and threaten Kev to show you what's behind the door, go to 370, or you can leave. I mean, I've done the intimidation route, so yeah. Kev moves aside, letting you open the door. As you open it, you see a man smile wryly at you, and then his face seems to melt, changing into a bubbling mess, with a myriad of alien eyes staring hungrily from each bubble. The creature extends part of its body to try and encircle you. Your ears fill with a gurgling sound, a laughing, gurgling sound. Make a sanity roll and lose 1d6, 1d20 sanity points. If you go temporarily or permanent insane, go to blah, blah, blah. Yeah, what's my sanity at? Oh, yeah, of course. Can you roll? Oh, currently it's a 50. Okay. I succeed, which means I think I'm going to lose 1d6 sanity instead of 1d20. I'm going to lose 1. That's not bad. 49 sanity. Let's see. If you fire a gun or otherwise attack with material weapons, such attacks have no effect. Make a dex roll. Okay. Make a dex roll. Got a 55 dex. I get a 20, thank goodness, so I succeed. If it's successful, you leap back and escape into the hall, return to 206, or go to any Cairo location. So we make it out to the 206. Okay. I think I'm going to book. I'm going to run for it. I'm curious, is this the end if I had failed? It has you. You've been consumed. It's the end. Yep. So thank goodness. I want to make a little more progress than have somebody die each time, right? Because, again, like, I don't actually care about mechanics and how many investigators it takes to get. I just want to know what the story is. So I'm glad I succeeded. It almost, makes you want to cheat in a way, just because, like, yeah, I mean, again, who cares? Yeah, I think, well, and again, because I don't know what I'm going to do if I run out of investigators. Like, I think the idea is, again, you start over from scratch and with the 4 and see how far you can get the next time, like a roguelike. I'm not going to do that. So I don't want to run out, because when all 4 die, I'm going to have to be like, okay, how do I keep this going? Do I just circle back through? But again, like, it just feels like it'd start getting like artificial. Anyway, doesn't matter. Okay. So what we're going to do is we're going to say, is it late in the day? It's not. Okay. Let's say that takes a couple hours. Make it 1 p.m. Maybe even if like I go eat, get my second meal in. The driver, he clearly sees that I'm shaken, and I can't even describe what I saw. Like it's one of those things where, like, if I told you, you wouldn't believe me. So maybe what I would do is close all these out. Egyptian location, Cairo Museum. Let's take a look at the air location. So I think what we would do, now we have a reason to go to the police. Like, something just tried to kill me in the museum. The curator is super sus. Patrick and Matt know what I'm talking about with that word, right? So now we book to the police station. So let's make it 2 o'clock. affable enough. They have no information concerning what you want to know. If it's after October, it's not. Okay, we're going to go back to the Cairo locations. Basically, I need to know, is there anybody else that can help me? It's 2 p.m. I didn't have much luck at the museum. Maybe I book it over to, Grunewald, MacLeod, they were academics. If the police can't help me, obviously I can't go back to the museum. Let's try going to the university. Maybe, basically it's just the idea, like, somebody has to know something, and I need to find that person to get that information. I can't keep stumbling around in the dark with 2 people dead and the horror that I just saw in the museum. Much open-minded learning and study occurs in this incredible Cairo institution. Lately, the presence of British troops makes many Egyptians reluctant to talk with foreigners. Yeah. You can visit the library at 2:15 or visit one of the departments within the mosque-like main building. Each visit costs 1 hour. Additional time may be demanded within particular departments. Okay. There's a lot going on. Let me see. So you can visit the library. Let's start with the library. So that's going to take an hour. I already did the hour. Okay. Oh, no, it wouldn't be open yet. So let's start by going to one of the departments. Let's go to ancient history at 2:17. Professor Jahark sees you if you can make a successful persuade or history roll. This might not go very well. What's my history? 5. What's my persuade? 40. So I roll a 28 against a 40. Not bad. Choose either one. Make one daily. If you succeed, go to 237. Okay. In his book-lined office, you can ask Professor Jahark about about all of these topics. The Cult of Aten, the Lost Pyramid of Akhenaten, the Book of the Dead, the Carpathos device. Jahark has a 50% spot hidden skill. Make this roll. Okay. Seems like this guy is the guy I want to talk to. He knows about the Cult of Aten. Going right there. Because I came here, Aten's come up. All of a sudden I'm seeing an alien that eats flesh or something in the closet. He laughs bitterly. No cult, my friend. Cult make it sounds understandable, and they do not belong to Aten. What can I say of them? They are murderers. Perhaps ghouls more likely, but the merest pebbles under the feet of their master. I love it. If you desire more information, like, actually I think I'm good. We can hand wave whatever else you might know. Let me just double check if I did this right. More information, 237. Okay, so that's all he's going to tell us. The Carpathos device, because that's where all this stemmed from. I'm not sure that this passage refers to it. A cursed key for a cursed box. The top of the terror. It unlocks. Return to 237 if you have more to ask the professor. Or if you're finished. Okay, I'm going to keep talking. So, obviously, I'm going to click on the Book of the Dead. It's a good title. Makes you want to read it. I don't know why. I'm trying to think of how organically it comes up, but whatever. No, the pyramid is not lost. It is, in fact, at Tel El Amarna, a small structure, but one with secrets yet unlocked. He drums his fingers. I have something for you. Should you go to the pyramid, search where the mark is. He hands you a map. Search on the east side. An opening must be there. If you use the map, you get a bonus die for rolls required to find such an opening. Okay. Make a journal entry about this. Okay, so I need to... I'm going to forget this. So let me put down in my notes. Let's see. Map of pyramid gives bonus die roll. And of course, if you remember, a bonus die means you roll 2d10 dice, you take the best one. Okay. Perfect. Well, maybe I won't forget. Maybe I'll get back to this a little bit sooner than I thought, given how the recording schedule is looking in the near future. Okay. Okay, so now go back to 297. Is that, yeah. So now from there we go. Back to 237 because there's more we want to talk to him. Is there more we want to talk to him about? Let's just double check. Close some of these out. Nope, that's the calendar. Okay, so let's just say Jahark has a 50%. Let's just do this roll, see what's up. Let me get this out of the way. Move this over. Clear the dice tray. Looking for less than a 50. He gets a 20, sorry. So he succeeds. Make this roll. If pass, go here. Okay. Did you receive a ring as a gift in Athens? If you did, yes, I did. Maybe I have the ring. That ring is powerful. Whether it can help, I do not know. Whether or not you have the ring, go to 290. I do have the ring, so. Jahark offers to come with you. If you accept him, he accompanies you as long as you wish. As long as you are in Egypt, use Jahark whenever you wish to substitute his skills for yours. Yeah. Let's do this. So let me get this NPC sheet into my hotbar. Let's see what he's good at. So as you see, the NPC sheet is a little stripped down, gives you some basics with some weapons, some stats, and then here it gives you his skills. Now his skills are in text, but I think you can still roll them, which I think is a cool touch. So yeah, we're gonna have Jahark with us. And you know what? Let's because again, I'm not 100% feeling awesome. I'm not sure how much longer my voice would last. Let's call it here. We were attacked by some bizarre nightmare alien creature in Cairo, so we've made it to Cairo. We've approached Jahark at the university, and he's agreed that stuff is popping off and he needs to help us. So when we pick this back up, we'll continue as like the two of us, Holt and Jahark, continuing. Maybe what I would do at some point, I'm going to go to the pyramids, right? But I think I would spend a little more time at the university. So maybe, I'm not going to remember this, but maybe I'll watch the end of my session before I start the next one. Maybe what I'll do is he needs to gather some things and say, hey, I'm going to be gone for a little bit. While he's doing that, I might pop around the university while I wait. So that's how we'll leave it. Once again, thanks for checking this out. Hopefully this has been fun. I'm having a good time, and I think I have an idea what I'm going to do next once this wraps up. It's sort of going to be something similar, but it's going to be a little bit of a comparison. I won't go into it now, but I think we'll see how it goes. It'll be more a comparison of VTTs than... Doesn't matter. Anyway. Again, this has been Black Lodge Trivia Night. Thank you very much for checking this out. If you've watched this, you've already found our YouTube channel. Like and subscribe if this is your thing. If you prefer audio versions of this kind of stuff, just search for Black Lodge Trivia Night. Wherever you get your podcasts, we should show up there. The rotation has been down for a while with the holidays. I think I was looking at the last time we did the spy game. It's been like 4 months, which is kind of crazy. How much the holidays and the rotation didn't play well together, but hopefully we're going to be getting back to that soon. But until then, I'm going to keep going with this. And yeah, and again, thanks to everybody. We have a Discord if you want to jump in. Thanks to everybody who's been jumping in there and chatting it up there. We're trying to arrange some games. I think we have a liminal horror session coming up at the time of this recording in a couple weeks. We've had 2 Dragonbane games arranged. So, there's some things, happening. If you're looking to get in a game, there might be somebody in the Discord that's willing to jump in and set something up. But otherwise, yeah, thank you very much again for checking this out. Hope you're doing all right, and hope you come back and see more of what's going on as we try to defy the triumph of the ice. So, take care. Have a good one. The music during the RPG session in Foundry was provided by the Foundry module Tabletop RPG Music and composed by Ian Fisher. You can find his Patreon at www.patreon.com/tabletop RPG music, all one word.